Okay, let's talk about Emm Gryner.
Oh yeah.
So
Do
Dave,
we have a song? Do we?
so
Do we?
Dave, hold on. Let me do my intro. So Dave Hamill, our good friend, tweeted at, I don't know if you saw, he tweeted at us the other day, like a week or two
Okay.
ago. I can't remember, within the last week.
Yeah.
And he's like, ETC, you should get on this. And so Emm Gryner had posted a tweet that it was, I think, a retweet of somebody else's or something. I can't remember exactly. Talking about how people should know that Emm Gryner has a new jazz single out. You know, she has some jazz music out, and I was like, "Oh, awesome!" And I tweeted back and I said, what did I say? I said, Emm Gryner and jazz, awesome. We got to hear this. And then I thanked her. I said, and FDK, original ETC podcast listeners. The big story of Emm Gryner is that me and Aaron and a bunch of friends went to a Josh Ritter concert, saw her open, loved her music, started researching, found out she was, I believe, a bass player for David Bowie. U2's Bono, wish he had written one of her songs. I believe it was, oh man, I'm forgetting now. It's either Almighty Love. And she was one of the first kind of artists that we didn't know. Like if you go back to ETC 2, 3, 4, like we played, Rob Hing and Beyond Sunday and Vanderpark, and these are all bands that we had personal connections to. We kind of knew them. But Emm Gryner was one of the first artists that was kind of like, celebrity to us that we didn't know and that we emailed. And she totally just gave us permission to play her song, which was amazing.
Yeah.
And that kind of snowballed to us playing, remember, we got the Stars, the Frames, Dallas Green, all these, back in the day when we actually put effort into this. We had all these songs. And I believe a big chunk of this was because of Emm Gryner, right? Like, she was the first, she gave us confidence. And she also gave us... Yeah, exactly. She gave us legitimacy for us to be able to email other artists and say, hey, Emm Gryner's let us do it. Will you let us? And then the list kept growing or whatever, right? I went to a concert with Dave in Wakefield to go see her play. And I don't know if you remember the story, but I very awkwardly went up to her and thanked her. And she... I don't blame her. Like, she probably didn't know at all what I was talking about. So I was like, thank you, whatever. So anyways... You ruined the surprise, but anyways.
I was just too excited.
I emailed her again.
But I'm surprised. I didn't know this.
Yes, I emailed her on the weekend, and she got back to me today, and she has given us permission on the podcast and the YouTube publication to play her latest single, Butterflies. Now,
Amazing.
The interesting thing is about this is I did a brief amount of research, and this is really cool. So it turns out this was basically a birthday gift. Her 85th birthday for her dad. It was a birthday gift to him. So last year, her dad turned 85, and she said as a birthday gift, she was going to make a jazz album for him. And then so she started a Kickstarter campaign and got all these backers to back her to produce this album. So she was raising money back in, I think, February to April or something like that. So there's a big Kickstarter page. You can read all about it. And the album is now out to backers, so people who have pledged.
Yeah.
They can listen to the full album.
That's awesome.
But we do have one of the singles here today, which is available. I purchased it today on iTunes. You can listen to it on Spotify, Apple Music, these kind of things. If you're interested in the album, you can again buy the single right now on online stores digitally. You can also listen to the singles on Spotify and Apple Music. But you can pre-order the album and you can purchase the album. That's coming out kind of soonish. Unfortunately, the Kickstarter campaign is over, so you can't get those anymore. The Kickstarter actually did offer CD and vinyl versions and digital versions, kind of all across the board. But definitely keep your eye out for Emm Gryner's Just For You album. Big thanks to Emm Gryner for doing that for us again, and big thanks way back in 2008 for being one of the first artists to give us permission to play music. Endless thanks, and awesome to see her, do jazz music. I mean, do you remember when she covered Crazy Train? Like, she did a piano version of Crazy Train.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to see her range, right? Like, she'll do kind of like kind of pop rock singer songwriter stuff. Then she has this really cool cover album, and now she's doing jazz. And I don't know about you, but I mean, I'm a pretty big jazz fan, and Butterfly sounded pretty awesome to me.